Hi there. I'm back with part two of creating a lesson in Almanack. We've already built the base of our lesson, so now it's time to add resources to the different pieces of our lesson. To do so, I'm going to go into my lesson sequence and start with the beginning of my lesson. I can click the resource button to add a resource I've already created, or I can use vibe coding to have AI create a resource for me. So I'm going to have it create a worksheet for my students for the beginning of the lesson. Remember, my lesson is on comparing numbers to 100. So maybe I want my beginning resource to be something where they practice or review number order. Let's do that. So I can choose for my lesson learning targets and objectives, or I can choose something else, meaning I can add the link to a YouTube video, upload a PDF, add text, or select an already created Almanack resource. But I'm going to use my lesson learning objectives for today. Then I can have AI automatically decide the format and content for me. I can provide custom instructions to vibe code my own resource, or AI will give me suggested formats that I can choose from. But I'm going to do custom instructions, and let's see what we can add. Let's have AI create a worksheet for us where students fill in the missing numbers from, let's start with 1 to 50. Okay, so I have my prompt and my output language selected. Now I'm going to click generate. It does take a minute to generate, but give it time, and when your resource is ready, it'll appear on the right-hand side of the window. So my worksheet is generated, and let's check it out. Find the missing number. Oh my goodness, this is perfect, y'all. Look at what that one prompt did for resource creation for my students to practice. They're putting their numbers in order from 1 to 50. It's even colorful and just eye-catching and engaging for them to have access to. I'm happy with it, so I don't have to do anything else. However, if I wanted to adjust or change anything, I could just change my custom instructions, click generate again, and it'll generate a second iteration based on your new instructions. And then just, lather, rinse, repeat until you get to the product that you're most satisfied with from adding different details to your prompt. So I'm going to save this to the beginning of my lesson. So it's right there. So when I do my beginning lesson, I can just click on this. I can add it to my LMS for my students to access or print it out for them if that's easier. And I also have some inspiration down here for the beginning of my lesson. Let's check this out. I like this. This says counting story hook. So I'm going to click on that and see what it does. This is going to help us create this resource with less input from us because it already has an idea of what to do, but I still think it's cool to let you see this. So it's still going to use our lesson learning objectives. Then it has the AI instructions already ready to go. All I need to do is click generate, and it's going to work its magic and create a counting story hook for me to use at the beginning of my lesson with my students as we learn how to compare numbers to 100. Okay, so it's generated my comparing numbers story time, and it's adorable too. The Great Pebble Pileup with a little picture of Leo the lion and Mia the monkey. It has comprehension check questions built into the story for me to ask the students as we read through the story. I love it. I want to add it to my beginning of my lesson, so I'm going to click save. Once I've saved it, if I want to change anything, once I'm in the editor, if I want to adjust anything on the resource, I can come down here to the bottom right corner to the resource assistant and describe what I want changed or want to edit, and the resource assistant will do that for me. Once I'm satisfied with it, I can export it to a PDF, a Google slide, or a PowerPoint. After I'm done editing it, I can go back to the beginning of my lesson plan, and my storytelling script is right here for me. During the lesson, maybe I want to add a source for during the lesson, maybe like a YouTube video. So let's say I have a link from YouTube for a comparing numbers song to get them up and moving in the middle of my lesson, to get them engaged, and help them have some fun. I just drop the link here and click add link, and it's going to add it to my sources. Maybe I want to do a simulation activity with that YouTube video. So I'm going to click on something else and then select this link here and click next. I'm going to have it give me suggestions this time so you can see that process. So it's going to generate some suggestions, and I can choose from the suggestions provided or regenerate if I don't like them. Okay, so it's generated a couple ideas for some experiential activities. I'm really into this number line race idea, so I've selected it, and I'm going to click generate. And it's going to bring this idea and this activity to life for me without a lot of extra work or time on my part. So it has generated the simulation activity number line race for me, and it gave me the learning objective, the grade level, the materials list that tells me that I can either do a low-tech printable version or I can do a digital option with an interactive whiteboard or projector. So that is really cool. It has the teacher script for me to read off of, which is even more amazing. It has the introduction for me to read, the model the process part, the guided practice, the transition independent work, and then even a small group version if I wanted to do that. Then it provides me with the student-facing directions. It also has the comparison pairs and the answer key, which I would cut these out if I did the low-tech version as cards for the students to draw from for the number line race. It has guidance for movable tokens and number lines that are mentioned as well in the low-tech version. The printable number line, if I wanted to print it out and enlarge it for the floor, or put it on my whiteboard if I'm doing the digital option. And even a student recording sheet that I could print out or upload into their LMS. And then just to really put the cherry on top, you guys, differentiation strategies for scaffolded support, challenge or even simpler numbers, and then an assessment checklist for some formative assessments during the activity, and then the formative assessment questions at the bottom as well. I mean, y'all, what more could you want? I created this amazing simulation, engaging, experiential game in under a couple minutes with all the bells and whistles I could ever imagine, and I really cannot wait to have my kiddos running all over the floor on this number line, practicing comparing numbers, because I feel like the more physical they are with it, the more it's going to sink into their brains. And we're going to have a good time doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And it's going to put it in my during the lesson spot. And then all I need to do to finish this is add my end of lesson resources, which even gives me an exit ticket option, a comparison review worksheet, and a number comparison quiz with visuals. Almanack has it all here for you guys. Enjoy planning your lessons because now it's fun. See you next time. Bye.